Musicians in bars getting beer. Teresa Hart. We're at the studio. What's the studio called?
It was called, the previous person was calling it the Jam Space, which was really me. It's a long story. But now it's called Toronto Rehearsal Studios.
Well, we have time. You can tell us the whole story if you want. How do you want to start?
Well, this is my business, and I have as you see, a big hourly room that I rent out, and so I also have 9 monthly rooms that I rent out, and so that is one of my main sources of paying my rent.
But you're a musician. You've got all kinds of tunes out there.
I have a lot of music out there right now, yes. I've put out 4 albums. Well, I just released my 5th, but it was a compilation. And so what I did was I wanted something for the summer, so I just put together all of some of the songs I thought were the best. Some
Cool.
people have told me they're not the ones I should have chosen.
Oh, really?
But it seemed like a good idea at the time.
Oh, it's
So-
your inspiration.
Yeah, I can't really judge. I don't really know what people are gonna like, so I just put it out. And it's just, I mean, I wrote all the stuff myself.
So it's off your first 4 albums.
Yes.
So tell us about those.
Well, in this place,
Right here in the studio, you've done them all?
Yeah.
Awesome.
I've just started, last night, I'm starting to record. I think I'm gonna do an acoustic album because I want something really raw. And I want something that is going to, I think it'd be a lot faster. So I want to get something out like that. I've got so many new songs and so many songs I never recorded. So, and I would like to try something different. Because the other albums I played everything myself, so it was a really long process. The recording, I'd start with the guitar and then I'd add the vocals and the structure, figuring out the structure, and then I would start to build like a drum beat, and then I would build a bass track, and then near the end I would add like the frills, you know, the sounds and keys, but just that whole process. One song would take sometimes at least a couple months.
Sure. So what are you doing it on? Like Pro Tools?
Pro
Computer
Tools.
stuff? Yeah. Cool. And,
But I'm not so happy with Pro Tools, like the upgrades and stuff, what they're talking, like, so I'm not sure what I'm going to do now.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to
Maybe
keep
something
using,
softer.
yes.
Cool.
I'm thinking maybe something else would be better.
Well, people, you can comment on this video if you have some suggestions.
Yeah, give me some suggestions, eh? Like, I need to know what would be a good, I've been told a few things.
So you've done all your albums by yourself, or do you have a band now?
I did all those albums by myself.
That's awesome.
The reason was, every time I put a band together, as lots of people know, they've gone through this, right? You put a band together, it's original music, they start learning your songs, and then, you know, somebody fights with someone or whatever happens, and, you know, this shit happens and the band breaks up, and then all of a sudden, all those months are gone,
Yeah.
and I have no band, and I've still got all these songs that aren't recorded. So I finally just said, that's enough. One time a guy came in here and he's like, I have Pro Tools. If you want to learn it, you can use it. And so I figured it all out myself and started recording.
Wow.
The-
Yeah, you're the real deal, for sure. I like your stuff.
Do you?
Yeah, I check it out on SoundCloud all the time.
Cool.
Yeah.
The first song I ever did was Horny. That was the very first song. It was on the Spacegirl album. And before that, I'd done some songs like on different types of recording things. But I thought that song was funny, and that's why I wanted to
I don't even
record
think
it.
I've heard the first one. I've only been following you for a couple of years now.
It was on the Spacegirl album, which was actually kind of like my first album, kind of my second, because I'd recorded a bunch of other songs, different formats, like using like, what do you call those, like 4-track recorders and
Sure,
stuff.
yeah.
So anyway, that's that was that. And so
So you were recently in a band called Just Hart.
I was.
I thought it was all Teresa Hart, but it's a lot of Valerie Sherman too.
Wow, you thought it was all Teresa Hart.
Because it's Just Hart.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, when I've had other musicians playing with me, I've called it a bunch of different names depending on how the other people's egos are taking it.
Yeah.
The new band is like, just call it Teresa Hart. So I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, you should just call it Teresa Hart.
Or so for a while we called it Teresa and the Hart Attacks, but no, Just Hart was a tribute band to Hart.
Yeah.
It was not really something I was that familiar with. I just joined it because it was a way to make some extra money for a while, I thought.
Oh, big stage, big sound.
I did a lot of big stages with my stuff for a while. Yeah.
Where have you liked playing in the past?
I really liked playing at the Phoenix.
Oh yeah.
That was actually when I was in Fidget. We played there. And we played there a few times, but my own solo stuff I've done, like the Mod Club, the Opera House, places like that. But yeah, if you check my stuff out, the main thing I really want now is like solid management. I'd like to go on the road. I've got someone that would help me run this place. I'd really like to be traveling and playing more, and I've got a really solid band, like an amazing drummer. She's just incredible.
Cool.
Her name is Svetlana, and she's just like, she can play my songs perfectly.
Oh, that's great. Where did you meet?
Actually, I saw her at a jam. Or no, it was somebody's birthday party. And it was kind of like a jam, and she'd gone there to play. And so we just started talking, and then that was it. She checked my music out, said she liked it.
Are you looking for any other band members?
Possibly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been going in and out of finding different bass players. I've got a few that want to do it and that we've been jamming. And I'd like to add a keyboard player. I've got a couple guys. I'm finding like when I deal with studio musicians, sometimes it's better because they play it better and it's less rehearsal.
Yeah.
That's what I need. I need people that can go like bang, ready to play, and that's really what I want right now.
You'll never believe this. We jammed together on the Elmo stage, you and I.
Did we?
After Carl Palmer's show or something like that. It was a couple of years ago.
Was that the night I took my guitar and kicked it across the stage?
I was going to ask you later for a funny story from the road, but you can go now.
I don't know. I was doing one of those shows and I just felt really frustrated. No, maybe it wasn't there. Yeah, I did a lot of crazy. I traveled around a lot for a while, and then I just. But that's really that's what I like doing. I like traveling and playing. And
Yeah, you seem really authentic. It's a real musician life that you lead. So that's why I'm a fan. It's because it's real. So tell me more about like influences, and like I could try and pigeonhole your music, but I wouldn't dare. So
go ahead.
Where would you say it comes from?
Well, it comes from my soul, man.
You did ask. It comes from the soul.
Comes from my heart. No, I don't know. It's like it just comes from wherever. I don't know. The ideas just come and.
Yeah. Like, would you say there's a punky influence? Who are your heroes?
Definitely. I mean, I think when I was growing up, the people that I really liked, I always liked sort of pop kind of music, but I really got influenced the last 4 or 5 years, I think more by R&B but because I'm a guitar player, and dance, a lot of R&B and dance and kind of stuff. That's what influenced my beats and stuff. That's why the beats are more like R&B and dance or pop than just straight rock, because that's what I was listening to all the time. That's what I listened to. So that kind of influences the way I write. But
like retro pop.
I guess.
Yeah.
But I listen to more like I really liked listening to all of the new stuff, whoever it is. Like I usually go on YouTube and look at like what are the top 15 songs this month, and I'll listen to them and just see. It doesn't really mean I write them like that.
Yeah.
But I really like to know what's going on so I can do something totally different.
Sure, because it is infectious.
Do you think it comes across punky? Because I really see with all of the bands that rehearse here and stuff, I see there's a real resurgence of punk. I'm hearing a lot of it. Like,
Queen Street West.
Just see the bands coming in here, and they're young and they kind of have like a punky sort of sound. Maybe that's because they're just learning, I don't know, but it seems to be getting more and more popular again. And even when I go on YouTube, I'm seeing stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I like that because that's kind of where I came from, was playing kind of like raw. I mean, I went to school for music, but I always kind of just, even when I was in school, I mainly just liked the theory part. That's what really influenced me, was just learning the way chords were built, and that's how I learned how to solo and stuff and build stuff. So, but you know, we each only get so much. So I've got my ideas or whatever, but I don't know if that's about all I've got.